The Sherman wasn't the only American tank that stormed Europe and the Pacific. There were dozens more, and some of them? Absolutely insane. The M2 light tank. This thing was already outdated when the war started, with paper-thin armor and a 37mm gun that couldn't punch through much of anything. M3 Stuart. The M3 Stuart. Fast, reliable, and loved by crews, but its light armor meant it was better for reconnaissance than slugging it out with German heavies. M3 Lee Grant. The M3 Lee. Weird design with a 75mm gun mounted in the hull, making it tall, awkward, and a big target on the battlefield. M4 Sherman. Early models. The M4 Sherman. America's workhorse, mass-produced like crazy. Early models caught fire easily, earning the nickname Ronson because they lit up on the first strike. M4A1 Sherman. The M4A1. Same Sherman, but with a cast hull instead of welded. Smoother construction, same firepower, still vulnerable to German 88s. M4A2 Sherman. The M4A2. Diesel-powered version mostly sent to the Soviets and Marines. More fuel efficient, less likely to burn, but America kept the gas ones. M4A3 Sherman. The M4A3. The best Sherman variant with a Ford V 8 engine. Reliable, powerful, and this became the standard by the war's end. M4A4 Sherman. The M4A4. Longer hull to fit a Chrysler multibank engine. Literally 5 car engines welded together. Complicated and mostly used by the British. M4A3E2 Jumbo Sherman. The M4A3E2 Jumbo. Basically a Sherman on steroids with extra armor welded on. Could finally take hits from German guns, but slower than a regular Sherman. M4A38 EZ8. The M4A3E8 EZ8. Upgraded suspension, a better 76mm gun, and way more maneuverable. This was the Sherman that could actually fight back. Sherman Firefly. The Sherman Firefly. British modification with a 17-pounder gun that could kill tigers and panthers. The Brits fixed what the Americans wouldn't. M5 Stuart. The M5 Stuart. Updated version of the M3 with better armor and twin Cadillac engines. Still light, still fast, still not going toe-to-toe with heavies. M24 Chaffee. The M24 Chaffee. Late war light tank that finally gave crews a 75mm gun with decent armor. Agile and effective for reconnaissance work. M26 Pershing. The M26 Pershing. America's first heavy tank with a 90mm gun and thick armor. Arrived too late to make a huge impact but outmatched German armor. M22 Locust. The M22 Locust. Tiny airborne tank designed to be dropped by glider. Barely used because it was too light to do much damage. M3 GMC. Tank destroyer. The M3 GMC. Not technically a tank, but a 75mm gun slapped on a half-track. Fast, mobile, but completely open-topped and vulnerable. M10 Wolverine. The M10 Wolverine. Proper tank destroyer with a 3-inch gun and sloped armor. Great for ambushes, terrible in stand-up fights. M18 Hellcat. The M18 Hellcat. The fastest armored vehicle of the war, hitting 55 miles per hour. Lightly armored but could hit hard and disappear before anyone reacted. M36 Jackson. The M36 Jackson. Mounted a 90mm gun on the M10 chassis. Finally had the punch to kill panthers and tigers reliably. T1 Light Tank. The T1 Light Tank. Pre-war prototype that influenced the M2 design. Never saw combat but laid groundwork for what came next. T2 Light Tank. The T2 Light Tank. Another prototype with minor improvements over the T1. Built in limited numbers and mostly used for training. T5 Phase 3. The T5 Phase 3. Experimental light tank that tested different turret designs. Influenced later Stuart models but never made it to production. M1 Combat Car. The M1 Combat Car. Technically called a combat car instead of a tank due to legal restrictions. Obsolete by 1941 but used for training. M2 Medium Tank. The M2 Medium Tank. America's first medium tank with a 37mm gun and machine guns everywhere. Outdated before Pearl Harbor even happened. T14 Assault Tank. The T14 Assault Tank. Joint project with Britain featuring heavy armor and a 75mm gun. Too heavy, too slow, and abandoned in favor of the Sherman. M6 Heavy Tank. The M6 Heavy Tank. America's early heavy tank with thick armor and a 3-inch gun. Never deployed overseas because logistics couldn't handle it. M6A2E1. The M6A2E1. Experimental monster with extra armor and weight. Only one prototype built, and it never left American soil. T28 Super Heavy Tank. The T28 Super Heavy Tank. A 95-ton beast designed to break through German fortifications. Arrived after the war ended in Europe. T29 Heavy Tank. The T29 Heavy Tank. Post-war development with a 105mm gun designed to fight King Tigers. Too late for action but an engineering marvel. T30 Heavy Tank. The T30 Heavy Tank. Similar to the T29 but mounted a massive 155mm gun. Prototype only. Never saw combat. T32 Heavy Tank. The T32 Heavy Tank. Based on the Pershing but with thicker armor and a 90mm gun. Built after the war for potential use against Japan. T20 Medium Tank. The T20 Medium Tank. Prototype that tested torsion bar suspension and a lower profile. Influenced the design of the Pershing. T23 Medium Tank. The T23 Medium Tank. Electric transmission prototype that was unreliable. Its turret design was used on later Sherman models with 76mm guns. T25 Medium Tank. The T25 Medium Tank. Step between the Sherman and Pershing with improved armor and a 90mm gun. Led directly to the M26. M7 Light Tank. The M7 Light Tank. Designed to replace the Stuart but was heavier and more complex. Cancelled when the M24 Chaffee proved superior. Marmon Harrington CTLS. The Marmon Harrington CTLS. Tiny light tank sold to other countries, not used by US forces. Saw action with Dutch and Chinese armies. M8 Scott. The M8 Scott. Self-propelled howitzer on a Stuart chassis with a 75mm gun. Used for close infantry support, not tank-on-tank fighting. M4 105 Sherman. The M4 105 Sherman. Sherman with a 105mm howitzer instead of the usual gun. Designed for bunker busting and infantry support. M32 Tank Recovery Vehicle. Armored tow truck based on the Sherman. Saved countless tanks from the battlefield and kept units moving. M34 Prime Mover. Sherman chassis converted to haul heavy artillery. Not a combat vehicle but essential for logistics. M7 Priest. Self-propelled artillery on an M3 chassis with a 105mm howitzer. Mobile fire support that followed advancing troops. M12 GMC. Self-propelled 155mm gun on an M3 chassis. Long-range artillery that pounded German positions from miles away. M40 GMC. Late war self-propelled gun with a 155mm cannon on a widened M4 chassis. Powerful but arrived near war's end. T92 Howitzer Motor Carriage. Light self-propelled howitzer designed for airborne units. Limited production, used mostly in trials. M19 Multiple Gun Motor Carriage. Anti-aircraft vehicle with twin 40mm Bofors guns on a Chaffee chassis. Too late for much World War II action. M15 CGMC. Half-track with a 37mm gun and twin .50 cals for anti-aircraft work. Mobile air defense that followed mechanized units. M16 MGMC. Half-track with quad .50 caliber machine guns. Devastating against aircraft and ground targets, nicknamed the Meat Chopper. LVT-1. Amphibious tracked vehicle used to storm Pacific beaches. Not a tank but carried troops through surf under fire. LVT-2 Water Buffalo. Improved amphib with better engine and suspension. Hauled marines and supplies across reefs and beaches. LVT A-1. Armed version with a 37mm gun turret. Provided fire support during beach landings in the Pacific. LVT A-4. Upgraded with a 75mm howitzer in an open turret. Better firepower but still vulnerable to direct hits. M4A3 R3 Zippo. Flamethrower Sherman used in the Pacific. Terrifying weapon for clearing bunkers and tunnels. M4 Dozer Tank. Sherman with a bulldozer blade for clearing obstacles and building defensive positions. Essential for engineers. M4A3 76 WHVSS. Sherman with horizontal volute spring suspension, wet ammo storage, and and a 76mm gun. Peak Sherman configuration. T1E1 mine exploder. Sherman with massive rollers out front to detonate mines. Cumbersome but saved lives in mine-heavy areas. M1 mine exploder. Smaller roller system attached to Shermans for mine clearing. More practical than the T1E1 but still awkward. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.